Significant.
Significant.
Welcome to Significant Life, the podcast for women who want to live, lead, and serve from an anchored place. I'm your host, Janice Anderson, wife, mother of three, CEO, and lover of all things Jesus. I firmly believe that strong women need an even stronger support system. So whether you need to get it done or come undone, this is a place where you can do it all without second-guessing who you are, disconnecting from those you love, or undervaluing your irreplaceable contribution to the world. Regardless of what you're facing, this I know for sure. You were created to live and enjoy a significant life. Let's dive into today's episode. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about today's conversation. It's one every high-achieving woman, especially those who lead at high levels, need to hear. Now, ladies, we're going to let the men come in on this one. So if you know a high-achieving man, one who leads, one who serves, one who is a visionary, invite him to join you with this too, because the principles that I'm going to unpack today will also serve them as well. I work with high-achieving women who run multi-million-dollar corporations. They serve as senior leaders and executives within the companies that they are employed by. Some of them lead global ministries, women with vision, authority, and access, women who get it done because that's who they are, not only because that's what's expected of them. But can I ask you something? Lean in a little bit. How often does getting it done come at your own expense? How often? How often does the weight of the responsibility that you carry leave you feeling like you're holding everyone together, but at the same time, you are unraveling inside? Today, I want to talk about the truth about getting it done without coming undone. If you listen to my podcast, you know that's one of my taglines. You know, Significant Life is a place where high-performing women can get it done or come undone. You can do both in this community. It's safe here. But today I want to talk about how do you get it done without coming undone? By the end of our conversation, you'll have 4 cheat codes. Okay, 3, but I got a bonus one if time permits, that will help high-achieving women master the game of life. So if you want to navigate life from a place of strength and strategy, even when things are crazy and chaotic, you want to master these 3 cheat codes and the bonus cheat codes. And if you want to do that without losing yourself, listen up. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm Janice Anderson, wife, mother of 3 generations of daughters. Yes, I birthed them all that far apart. Y'all praying for me. Got a daughter at the time of this recording in her 20s, one that is a teenager, and yes, I have a toddler. I'm also a business owner of multiple businesses, and I am the founder of Significant Life, where I get the awesome opportunity to help high-performing Christian women gain the inner strength, the guiding vision, and the life strategy needed to thrive through transition or their next level in life. I enjoy helping women move from just executing at high levels to living anchored, aligned, and fully supported. Now, let me start with a confession. I didn't wake up like this. I know. You thought I woke up like this? Like I just was, the Lord had just poured this all into me and I was always like this. No, I am a former workaholic, a former people pleaser, a former firefighter. Now, you're probably thinking, what is a firefighter? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. As a firefighter, you're the person that when there's a crisis, they call. And they know you're going to get it done. It doesn't matter if it's the last minute. You're going to put out that fire because that's what you do. Yeah, that used to be me. I said former because I realized in me constantly fighting fires, whether it was at home or at work or in my business or for my clients or my girlfriends or even my children. Y'all hear me? Listen up, mothers. I realized that if I'm constantly fighting the fire and putting it out, then I was inadvertently, unintentionally becoming an arsonist. Then in some of those cases, I was making it okay to start fires. I was making it okay to not do the work. I was making it okay for them to not show up for themselves because, hello, I would show up and I would get it done. And yes, I am a former overcommitter. Keyword there, former. Yeah, I had left that in my other life. Now, every now and then those things try to creep up in my current life, but I'm more aware and I make decisions quickly to say, oh, I ain't hurt no more. That's not who I am. I have decided to live what? Anchored. I know what it's like to wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. I know what it's like to be the one who's always coming through and privately wondering, how much longer can I keep doing this? Am I actually building the life that I prayed about? Am I building the life that God promised? Or am I just managing responsibilities? I know what it's like to ask yourself, what happens if I actually slow down? Will everything fall apart? If I don't show up, if I don't stand in the gap, if I don't pray the prayer, if I don't go to that place, if I don't wave my hand and say what needs to be said, what's going to happen? Can we talk about it? All right. So I want to go ahead and give you 3 cheat codes. If this is you and this is how you've been living your life, they're going to help you to know the difference between getting it done and positioning yourself to come undone. Okay. So cheat code number 1, you want to know the difference between design and default. Write that down. You need to know the difference between design and default. Hear me out. Here's the hard truth. Many leaders, especially high achieving ones, hide behind their natural strengths to avoid developing new ones. You're like, wait a minute, Janice, that's not me. I don't do that. I don't hide behind my strength. Oh, let's ask yourself, have you said things like, yeah, that's just not how I'm wired. Yeah, you know what? I just don't have that personality. That's not my personality. God didn't make me that way. Have you ever said that concerning how you are needed to show up in the moment? I hear this all the time with my clients, especially the ones who get things done and who, in most cases, are exceptional at what they do. It's when they are faced with a behavior or a perspective or a skill that doesn't come naturally for them. They tend to dismiss it as something outside of their design, especially the ones who have studied and learned and they are using this. I'm just not built like that. Rather than seeing it as something that they can develop. Let's dive deeper. I know this mentality very personally because I used to be that woman. In the work that I do, I encounter so many, both men and women, that this is what they say. I remember early in my career, I used to see people easily networking, right? They did the thing, they would network, like that's what they did. They would push business cards and they show up. And I am jovial, I am absolutely an extrovert, but I hated that way of networking. So I just had decided, I don't really do networking. That's just not what I do. And so I'm not going to networking events. I'm going to build my business and grow whatever I'm going to do without networking. Or when I showed up to these experiences, I would kind of find a person or two and just kind of hang out there. Can y'all believe that I did that? Mm-hmm. Because that's just not my design. That's just not how I'm made up. I like deep connections, and that is true of my design. I develop deep connections. I love meaningful relationships. I'm really not here for the fake, the fluff, or the random small talk that ain't going nowhere. That's not naturally what I lean into. But can I tell y'all something? Networking is a skill. Is this mic on? It's a skill. And oftentimes, we leverage our design. We lean on our design as an excuse for not developing a skill. Can I say what else is a skill? Mm-hmm. I know, because that's not how you are. You're like, that's not me. That's not what I do. I wrote out a list of skills. Writing is a skill. You can develop, you can learn how to write well. For those of you who part of your business and part of maybe your marketing strategy or communication strategy requires that you write meaningful communication to be distributed. You're not doing that. You're looking hard and fast to delegate it to someone. But right now, you're not in a season where you have the right person yet. And rather than develop the skill, you just say, that's not what I do. Or maybe speaking publicly, that's not what I do. I work a lot with women, so and we get real in my community. So can I go ahead and say this? And y'all not going to judge me, right? Because I'm going to treat y'all like I treat my clients. Y'all ready? Mm-hmm. Time management is a skill. It's a skill. It's a skill that can be developed. You don't have to always be late. You don't have to don't worry about it. I'm talking to my own self. You don't have to always wait to the last minute. You don't have to always pack your schedule back to back to back to back to back to back to back because this is the only way to get it all done. You don't have to live that way. Oh, where are the wives at? Y'all ready? SEX. It's a skill. It can be learned. You can learn. You could totally learn how to be hot and steamy. You can totally learn. Yes, you can. Romance. It's a skill. It's a skill. I just wasn't made really sexual and sensual. It's a skill. It can be developed. It can be developed. Okay, sorry. Most of the things that we say is not us, is not in my design, is not how I'm wired, are actually skills that can be developed, but we avoid them because of the discomfort that comes with doing them. In my work, I have noticed 3 primary discomforts, 3 primary reasons why people blame design on things that are actually skills that can be developed. And can y'all ready to write notes? Okay, reason number 1 is pride. Most of the time when I'm working with high performers, high achievers, and they realize that there's something that they have not been able to overcome or to excel at, they look at it like, this is, you know what, I'm just not wired that way. I'm just not designed that way. And so they have these barriers in their mind that say, because of how great I am, they're not saying this, but they're thinking this, because of the way that I'm typically showing up, because I'm used to winning at everything, because I win with everything I try. Listen, I'm a winner. I always excel. I always get the task done. I always do it with excellence. And so because of that, there's this pride that if I'm unable to do this in a way that is recognized as excellence, and I'm unable to do this in a way that can get it done consistently every single time in a way that I kind of like hit the ball out the park, then I'm just not wired for that. Because surely if I could do it, I would do it. Can we say pride? Let me give you a definition, because I hear some of y'all already saying, Janice, that's not me. And especially if you have a aversion to the word pride and it's hurting your feelings, I just want to define it a little bit. In a healthy sense, pride is the feeling of satisfaction and self-respect. We all should have a level of pride. I take pride in the videos that I bring to you. I take pride in the book that I've written. I take pride in how I serve and show up for my clients. It's recognizing my achievements and standing confidently in my ability. In a good sense, that's pride. But I want to talk about pride in a not so good way. So let me just give you this definition of pride. In a negative form or disempowering form, and often high achievers, get it done people, those who make it happen, can be embracing this mindset and this perspective, and maybe even this experience, is when their ego is inflated and they have an overestimation of their own ability. And because I do serve many leaders who are driven by their faith, they're anchored in their faith, but they're driven by their faith. So it informs how they show up. Pride in that sense is putting yourself above God. You're putting yourself above God. I should be able to do this, instead of God is able to empower me to do this. Pride. So that's one of the barriers that keep high performers from understanding and mastering this cheat code of design versus a skill to be developed. Can I tell you the other barrier? Shame. Shame is this deep-rooted feeling of inadequacy or unworthiness. And can I just tell you this? My belief, I wholeheartedly believe with everything in me, and I teach this even in my community, that pride often stems from shame. From shame. I should be able to do this, but the fact that I'm inadequate, the fact that I'm unable to, it's this fundamental feeling that I'm flawed, I'm not enough, and I've been exposed. That shame causes me not to shrink back, but to act like I can do it all. Y'all see how they're the Wonder Twins in a negative way? And some leaders that I have the awesome opportunity to work alongside, they resist change because they've tried it before and they failed. So no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And they even cite things like, I'm an introvert. I don't network. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm not really sensual in that way. I'm a talker. That ain't what I do. What? Sorry. Let's just go ahead and say this. If you want to work with me, I have these random outbursts just like that. I call you to the carpet on your stuff, because what we're not doing is making excuses for us not progressing, okay? So pride and shame are reasons that people blame their inability to develop a skill or unwillingness, because it's not an inability, it's an unwillingness to develop a certain skill needed to progress. The third barrier that I see to high-performing, high-achieving women and men embracing that is not their design, but it's a function of a skill that needs to develop is trauma. I don't use this word lightly, but I am aware that sometimes trauma is the source of the barrier that's keeping you from embracing that this is actually a skill that can be developed. It's not a function of my innate design. Trauma, just let me define it for you, is an emotional response to a distressing event that overwhelms your ability to cope. Think back. When you grew up, you tried something, you didn't do it right, and you're used to getting everything right. You're used to making all A's. You're used to having the best penmanship in the classroom. You're used to figuring out the problems, and then you didn't. And not only did you not do it, that's not the traumatic experience. It's that you were ridiculed, that you were criticized, that you were publicly embarrassed, where you were shamed publicly. The words that were spoken towards you were as if you weren't enough, you were inadequate. That can create a distressing perspective, and it can overwhelm you to the point where you're like, I'm just not going to try that. Can I tell y'all a little bit of my own trauma background? We're going to keep it light a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you. I low-key think I've been traumatized about doing my girl's hair. I am not a great hairstylist of other people's hair. That's not the skill that I possess. If my children, I used to tell people this at church, if you see the girls coming to school with a ponytail, I did that. I'm talking about one ponytail. Or if you see them coming to school with a bunch of parts in their hair, or coming to church with a bunch of parts in their hair, and the parts are not exactly straight, like they're imbalanced a bit, they didn't go to the salon. Their mama had did their hair. I used to just not do their hair. Sure didn't. They've been going to the salon very early in life. Why? Because when I gave my best, and I'm from the South, so women do all the things in the South. I'm in the deep South. We should know how to cook. We should know how to clean. We should know how to swing from the ceilings. We should know how to do the girl's hair. We got to make $1 out of 15 cents. You got to do everything and do it well. What you talking about? You don't know how to do that girl hair. You do know how to do her hair. Again, before the days of YouTube. At this stage, I mean, everything's on YouTube and TikTok. You should know how to do that. Well, here, Miss, A student, get it done, always know what to do and when to do it, not knowing how to do her daughter's hair. When I would come home, I lived out of town most of my adult life. My family would be shaming me. Why that girl hair look like that? You know better. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I went to church. Shaming me. I did my best. So I just decided I'm not even going to do it no more. Janice Luttrell, that's my name. You can learn. It's a skill that can be developed. And while it won't look like a person who this is natural for them, it could look better than what you're doing, but are you willing to do it? Now, in some cases, I'd be like, no, I'm just not. I didn't say this is a function of my design, that God didn't make me able to do this, that I'm unable to do this. I don't have the capacity to do it. I just went ahead and said, I'm not willing to do it. So which are you? In the cases where you've hidden behind, this is just the way I am. This is just how I'm wired. God didn't make me that way. Think about those things. Is it indeed a function of your design, or is it a skill that you are unwilling to develop? Okay, let's move on to number 2. If you can't say amen, just say ouch. Cheat code number 2. If you want to get things done, whatever it is, whether it's fulfill your life's mission and calling, whether it's be the woman God called you to be for your family, whether it is make this undeniable impact and deposit in the world, if you want to get it done without coming undone, the cheat code number 2 that high achievers know is you got to know when it's now, never, or I need to schedule it. Let's say it again. When is it now, never, or need to schedule? Okay, I love this one because who is still learning this one? This one over here, me, I'm still learning that one because I, like most high achievers, tend to think we can do all the things. I mean, I'm smart. I can figure it out and I can get it done. That's what we do. We get it done. Sure, I can do that. Sure. You ever find yourself saying, you know what? Let me knock this out real quick. Oh, you know what? I got it. I can fit it in. Oh, yeah, girl. Yeah, I got time. Let me look at I got time. You ever say that? Now, there's a term for this. This term is called tid optimism. Tid optimism. So some people are tid optimists. What is tid optimist? Okay, easier way to say it is they're a time optimist. Yeah, it's a whole clinical psychological term. And it is when a person overestimates what they can do in a given time and underestimate how long it actually takes. How many of you out there are time optimists? I am a recovering time optimist. I'm still in recovery right now. I'm still learning. TID optimists, let me tell you what they do. They often fail to consider the mental and emotional energy required to complete the task before them. They also don't consider the recovery time needed after they have done the thing. And lastly, the other things they often don't consider is, what else do I have on my plate that will demand my attention and my time? Let me tell you how TID optimists tend to look at things. Okay, they tend to think, oh, girl, I got that. I could do this. Sure, this is what needs to be done. Girl, I can absolutely get it done. Yeah, you know what? I've done that before. Actually, I've done that for this person, that person, this person. So you're looking at it from a place of capability rather than capacity. Now, I love this one because I have been low-key shamed and a little bit criticized because of my need for margin. It is something that is extremely important to me, that I have a buffer between events, especially when they're big events in my life, in my business, and how I'm showing up in the world. For example, this weekend, at the time of this recording, my middle daughter turned 16 and we had a Sweet 16 party for her. It was incredible. It was absolutely amazing. And we was at our house. If you know us, big days are incredibly important to me. It is my belief, my desire, my mission and vision to create within my home a culture of celebration, which means when you do something worth celebrating, we're going to celebrate you and we're going to celebrate you big. And my belief is, if no one else sees you, we over here, we see you, boo. We celebrate you and we are going to cheer loud for you. So birthdays, special holidays, achievements, something that's an achievement for you, even if it comes easy for me. Oh, we doing the most.com. So that's the backdrop. So it's 16th birthday. Come on, that's a milestone birthday. We did the most. And if you're in the United States and you know Party City is what? Closing down. Why is that significant? They do not have helium in the stores anymore. I was Party City, y'all. I was in here blowing up balloons, not with my breath, but with the helium tank. My finger is still sore. I was doing the most. But on the same day of the Sweet 16 birthday party that was at my house that 44 teenagers showed up to, that one. And I was a party planner, the party designer, the party executor, the mama. They got to make sure people ain't doing what they don't need to be doing, meeting and greeting these folks who my child always texting and talking about, and putting a face with a name and, doing all the things that mamas do. It was also my toddler, who's 4 years old, her first father-daughter dance. And we can't let your first father-daughter dance be basic. Have you met me? Absolutely not. We are not having a basic one. Your daddy is going to ring the doorbell. He's going to come to the house. He's going to ask you out. He's going to come with a corsage and a rose. And you're going to feel like a princess because you're going on your first date. And I need to record it all. Y'all. The most. Okay. So I knew that these were the things that I had on my plate. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew how I wanted to do it. And I was all in. I also knew that I could not just jump straight back into regular life. And I wasn't quitting my business. And I wasn't deciding that, this week I'm not going to serve any clients. I just thought ahead of, what is it going to take? What is the mental energy required? So I did delegate quite a few things. I ordered the food much earlier than what I would typically have had it. I, who like hot food, would have had the food an hour before the party. Yeah, that's the time optimist in me. Yeah, I had that food here way before an hour. We got an oven. We got air fryers. Bring that food early. I also would have tried to do all the things. No, I got a whole husband. He's strong and he's fully capable to do the things that need to be done. I gave him a schematic. Hey, honey, when you set the tables up, can you make sure they look like this? I have a daughter that drives. She was the errand runner so that I can stay planted. Because what I know is the mental energy required, the emotional energy required, the physical energy required for me to go to place to place to place to place to place will deplete me. So that's what I did the day of. But on the day after, Here's what I did. One, it was a low-key celebration, the birthday party. It was a day prior to her birthday. We still celebrated in the most.com. She got her birthday dance. The downstairs was decorated with the same decorations from outside that can fit in a house. And it was chill. We ordered dinner. We sat down and relaxed. I did not see clients the next day. Guess what? I did not see clients the day after that. I booked a guest mentor. Y'all see what I'm saying? I'm adding in buffer because I know my recovery time and because I am not driven by the perspective, the perception, and the opinions of other people. I really don't care what they think. I know what I think. I know what I need. Can I tell y'all why that's important to me? Not just as a high performer and a high achiever. Y'all, I hold the office of a watchman. Anybody know what that is? I am the prophetic seer, not just for my family, but for many. If I am too busy, if I am overextended, things that I need to see, I can't see. Things that I need to be aware of, I'm unaware of. I don't know whether to say this is a function of me being tired or this is me being under spiritual attack. Quite honestly, right before this live, I literally had to send an SOS text out to someone saying, hey, pray, here's what's happening. I've had energy all day. I've been moving. It's been good. I've been nursing my sick child all week long. Nothing has happened to me. I opened the door and was overcome with chills, flu-like symptoms. Just open the door. Couldn't even move. Body was aching. What I'm getting ready to do? This. I'm getting ready to do. And I'm like, pray with me. Pray with me. I anointed her head with oil, anointed my head with oil, my daughter, because it didn't change until you got here. If I'm not sensitive to what's going on, I would say, you know what? I'm coming down with what my daughter has. It finally got to me. No, it didn't get to me. All of a sudden, the moment I opened the door, I wasn't aware. I didn't have a keen sense of awareness because I'm so busy, because I'm so exhausted. In this hour, in every hour, we need to be paying attention. But right now, the activity in the spiritual realm is heightened. It is high. The devil is not playing games. He's not sitting over there watching you saying, yeah, that's okay. Go ahead and let her do this. Let her set people free. No, he's on high alert and he's ready. Scripture says he roams around like a roaring lion looking whom he may devour. He on his job. Like, listen, he's fulfilling his job description. He's looking for a pocket in a space, in a place where he can just slide on in. And when you're tired, when your senses are dulled, not just your natural senses, but your spiritual senses, when they are dulled, he can come right in. But scripture says also that we are not ignorant concerning the enemy's devices, whether it is unforgiveness that I'm holding or bitterness or anger or overexertion because I'm people pleasing, whatever it is, I'm giving no way for the enemy to do his thing because I'm not aware of my thing. Now, in order to decide whether it's now, never, or I need to schedule it, you got to know you. You have to know what you need to be at your best. You have to know what you need in order to function well, to see well, to hear well. You have to know your spiritual gifts and your natural resistances. You may not need a nap. You may not need that much buffer time. Whatever it is, you need to know who you are and strengthen and set up an environment that supports what you need. So this week, it's not that I didn't fulfill any obligations. I renegotiated things where I needed to. I did. I pushed through where I needed to push through. There were places in my life and my schedule that I had to push through. But there were far more places where I chose to pause because I could, which leads me to cheat code number 3. Cheat code number 3, you got to know what fuels you versus what fills you. What fuels you? So many times as high achieving, high performing leaders, whether we're women or men, we reward ourselves with things that actually drain us. We say, I earned this. Listen, I earned this. I deserve this. You know why? Because I'm always coming through. I'm always showing up. I'm always the first one there and the last one to leave. I deserve this. You insert your this. We tend to binge things like Netflix. And I'm not saying watching Netflix is a sin. I'm not saying that is wrong. I'm not saying that. Here's what I want to ask you. The thing that you do, whatever it is, spending too much money impulsively, buying the thing that you want, the latest gadget, as I sit in this office with all the gadgetry, because I am a gadget girl. I'm sitting here on looking at a camera, another one. Don't worry about it. Don't judge me. I get it. Spending money impulsively because you've earned it, and then later feeling regretful. Saying yes to an event because I need to be out there. I got to be where they are. Listen, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So I need to go ahead and show up, because if I don't show up, they're not going to pick me. Y'all hear me? Whatever it is, does it fuel you, or does it just fill a void? Does it just fill a gap? Because everything that fills a gap doesn't fuel you. My guilty pleasure is chocolate with almonds, not just regular chocolate. It's milk chocolate with almonds. I absolutely love it. I still have a chocolate bar every single night. I have to ask myself this, Janice, when you're done, does it fuel you or does it fill you? It is absolutely satisfying, but there's a reason why I eat it at night. So I can go straight to bed. Because if I ate a chocolate bar with almonds right now, your girl is going to be absolutely sluggish. I'm not going to feel my best. And not only am I not going to feel my best, at some point it's going to be on my hips, because that's where the weight goes. And then I'm going to be feeling insecure or trying to figure out what's the latest brand of Spanx that's out there that's going to work for someone that's heavy at the bottom. Can I just get somebody to say, amen, girl, I feel you. So what you want to ask yourself is, what fuels me and what fills me? I absolutely do binge some things on Netflix. Can I just talk about this for a second? What I watch on Netflix, I'm very particular about it. It's usually old shows that don't have a lot of sex on it. Hopefully no sex or not a lot of sex, not a lot of violence. It's fun, it's lighthearted, it has a plot to it. I'm not into all that other stuff. It got to make me laugh. I love to laugh. So I'm probably watching Cheers. It can't be this high thing that's going to jolt my spirit one way or the other. I'm probably watching a cartoon. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm in the middle of a series, and I realized by season 4, they're adding a whole lot of sex and a whole lot of perversion. I'm like, come on, y'all. You were doing so well. And then at that point, I just stopped watching it. I'm not so vested that I'm willing to interrupt my channels and my peace and my ability to be clear in watching these types of things. I have to ask myself, and I need to know what fuels me or what just fills me. And I want you to know this at every level, a spiritual level, a physical level, whatever you give your attention to, whatever you give your affection to, whatever you give your support to, whatever you give your consumption to. Be honest with yourself. The cheat code is this. Does this fuel me? Does it give me the energy, excitement for what I need to do next? Or does this just fill me up for the moment? Is this a temporary satisfaction? Okay, I've given you 3 cheat codes. Let's just go back over them right now. So if you want to be a woman who wants to get it done without positioning yourself inadvertently and unintentionally to come undone, here are 3 cheat codes I want you to master. Number 1, know the difference between design and default. There is a difference. There is a way that you are divinely designed. And then there are things that you default to out of habit to protect yourself. And you can actually change that by developing a specific skill. Cheat code number 2, you want to know when it's now. I got to do this right now. Never, I ain't going to get to that. Let me not even commit to it. Or I need to schedule it. Some things take time and energy, and you know the time and energy required you don't have right now. Let me go ahead and schedule this. I'm not going to just get to it. I'm going to put it on the calendar. For me, I have a reinforcement. Her name is Leah. That's my assistant. If it's something I need to schedule and I've committed to it, and it requires thought work from me, it requires me to settle my senses and be focused, I let Leah know so we can block off my calendar of when I'm going to get it done. And then she's checking in to make sure that I honored that space as a sacred space. You got to know yourself. In order to do that, you have to know you. Cheat code number 3 is this. You have to know what fuels you and what just fills you. Skinny Pop, which I absolutely love. When I tell you it's not a whole lot of calories, but I always feel tired after eating it. And I was eating it because it fills me up, but it don't give me no energy. I literally want to go to sleep. I don't even know what's in it that causes that. But when I'm paying attention to my body, although it's like 100 calories for the little small bag, those 100 calories still make me tired. What fuels you? What just fills you? Now, if you stayed this far, I want to give you the bonus cheat code. Let me know, is this good? Is this serving you? Is it supporting you? Please let me know. And here's what I want to talk about. Cheat code number 4 that high achieving women know. high achieving leaders, we know this. We know this. We do what we do because of support. We have to live a life that is fully supported. This is a cheat code. I remember when I was single, I was shortly after my divorce, probably a year or two after my divorce. I remember saying to the Lord as I was going on assignments to speak and to teach, and I was trying to figure out, Lord, I realized that I need a day buffer between I go back into my regular life. And I need, Lord, support. I just do. I need whoever I can leave my children with, wherever they were, to be a safe place where I don't have to worry about them and rush back home to them, because I have 3 girls. And at the time I only had 2. And it was important to me. And then I said this to the Lord. I said, Father, if I'm fully supported, I will fully serve. Lord, can you just make sure I'm fully supported? Now, here's the truth. I was going to serve anyway. I'm going to serve anyway. So I'm not negotiating with God. But what I was saying to him is, God, I need everything required for me to do this well, and I'm coming to you. And can I tell y'all what that full support looked like? It wasn't just God, me, my journal, and my Bible, my prayer life, my devotional life, my therapy. It wasn't just those things. It was actually human. It was, I need the time to fully support what you're calling me to do and how you're calling me to show up. I need the team. I need the people around me to hold a mirror to who I am and to tell me and show me what I need to grow up in, where I need to mature, what skills do I need to develop. I can't see myself. There's this quote, we don't know who said it, that goes like this: it's hard to see the picture when you're the frame. I need a me for me. And so for every area of my life, I started seeking that out, whether it was my spirituality or my work as a mom, or even when I became married again, or I was getting ready to date. Do y'all know that I was going and getting therapy for dating and relationships before I even met my husband, which was so helpful. Listen, it was so helpful. Some of the things we ain't got to deal with because your girl was dealing with them before I ever met them. Praise the Lord. I mean, I was just doing this. Even now, I have the support I need. In my business, I have never been in business without a coach or a mentor that I'm actively paying and is guiding me through this journey. As smart as I am, as many degrees as I have, as many certifications that I have, I still need the support. Sometimes just for them to be, for me, what I am to my clients. I'll tell you this, that was talking to a woman that I serve, and she said this in support. She said her gynecologist, she's a powerful woman. Yep, she is. Degreed woman, a woman who offers services to other people. And she said, her gynecologist told her this. She said, even I need a gynecologist. Ma'am, what? You mean you can't check your own self? Even gynecologists need a gynecologist if she's a girl. So ladies, the cheat code, or gentlemen, the bonus cheat code is, in order to live this journey in a way that is anchored and aligned and with significance, the significance in which you are designed to live this life, you need to be fully supported. If this resonated with you, I want to invite you to enter into a conversation with me. I would love to have a conversation with you to talk about what it looks like to be fully supported by me and the women of the Significant Life community. It's not a community where you're competing, although we love to play games. It's not a community where you have to posture, although everyone in the community is powerful. They have a powerful presence. They know what they know. They know the Lord. They're intentional about their journey. But this is a space where they come to be refueled and filled and sharpen those skills and to learn divine strategies and practical strategies, even some of the things that I'm talking to you now, so that they can live, lead, and serve from an anchored place. Every woman in the community is leading outside of the community, every last one. As a matter of fact, I'm called to women who are leaders and who lead in large ways. These are women who may be in the background just because they're nursing and navigating some places of woundedness, but they're designed to be in the forefront. It's who they are. And so I get their journey. And if you know that's you want the structure, support, and accountability. And yes, you get to meet sisters along the way. You have your people, your community. Y'all speak the same language. Y'all desire the same things. You know someone's going to get you. So we super nerds over here. And we love Jesus over here. You know what I'm saying? We love him and we do the most for him. And yes, we are spouses who want our marriages to reflect who God is in us. We want our children's lives to reflect who God is in them. We want to develop those things and be living epistles. That's what Paul says, read upon men in our respective areas of assignment. So whether we are engineers, because all of us don't work, most of the women don't work in the four walls of the church. Their call is beyond the four walls of the church. They are business women. They are community leaders. If that's you, and yes, if you are a woman in ministry and you know, I could definitely use a place where I can be fully supported, I want you just to drop a heart in the comments. And myself or my team, we will reach out to you and schedule a call for us to talk. And here's what's going to happen. I'm not going to do no high pressure sales. I do not have that time or energy. But we can decide if I'm the right person, this is the right community, and if this is the right time for you. I pray this has blessed you and encouraged you and equipped you, caused you to look inward and decide, is me getting it done setting me up to come undone? Answer that question. Let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.